This is the moment that makes Vibeyard interesting. A local app is running inside a browser. The user clicks the Order Now button, sends that exact element into Claude Code, and Claude edits the right file instead of guessing. Then a second clicked element becomes a second Claude task. That second task fixes a missing $sign in the menu data. This is not another vague agent demo. It is click to code. The product promise is very specific. Stop describing what you see, click what you want changed, and let the agent receive the real browser context. The old workflow is awkward. You see a broken button in your app, then you try to describe it to an AI coding agent like a human bug report. The red button in the top left of the third card. The price under cold brew. The link in the hero section. That description loses the most important context. The agent needs the URL, the selector, the visible text, and usually the component location. Without that, it searches broadly, edits the wrong class, or asks you to clarify. Vibeyard is trying to remove that translation step. The browser becomes the targeting system, and the coding agent starts from the element you actually clicked. The repo behind the post is Elarantisha/Vibeyard. The README calls it the IDE built for AI coding agents. It is open source under MIT, and the GitHub page I captured showed more than 900 stars, 100 plus forks, recent releases, and active commits. The positioning is simple. Keep Claude Code, Codex CLI, and Gemini CLI as the coding engines, but wrap them in a proper workspace. That workspace gives you sessions, panes, project context, cost tracking, and browser tabs. The README also calls out session resume, health alerts, AI readiness checks, MCP servers, commands, and a Kanban workflow. In plain English, Vibeyard is trying to turn raw terminal agents into something you can supervise. Here is the actual flow from the source clip. Vibeyard starts with a normal project window. The user opens a new browser tab and points it at localhost 3000. The test app is a coffee shop landing page called Brew and Bloom. It has a hero section, the line your morning, perfected, an order now button, and menu cards with prices. The browser is not just a preview. There is an inspect element mode. When the cursor picks the order now link, Vibeyard can send Claude the page URL, the DOM element, the selector, and the visible text. The prompt is no longer a paragraph of guesswork. It becomes a precise instruction tied to the clicked anchor. Add animation on hover. That is the key difference. Claude does not need to infer which button the user means. The clicked element becomes the task input. The proof gets better when the video splits into two Claude Code sessions. The first task finds the order now anchor and edits app/page.tsx. The diff adds a smooth transition, a hover scale, a shadow, and brightness. The output explains that the button now scales slightly, gains a drop shadow, and brightens on hover. The second task starts from a different clicked element. A menu price says $9.50, but the $sign is missing. Vibeyard passes the span selector and text into Claude, and Claude changes the source value from $9.50 to $9.50. Two tiny UI issues become two precise code edits. This is the part that matters for real teams. The unit of work is not a vague ticket. It is a browser element plus intent. The official README clips show why this is more than a browser trick. Vibeyard has multi-session management, split panes, session resume, a Kanban board where tasks move from ready to running to done, and project analysis for AI readiness. It also surfaces MCP servers, rules, commands, cost, context window usage, and session health. That matters because the terminal alone is not built for supervising several coding agents at once. Once you have 2 or 3 agents working, you need to know which one is waiting, which one is spending tokens, which one changed files, and which task is finished. The README frames Vibeyard as a workspace around existing CLIs, not as a replacement for them. That is a smart wedge because developers already trust Claude Code, Codex, and Gemini CLI. The install story is also clear from the README. You need at least one supported CLI already installed and authenticated, Claude Code, OpenAI Codex CLI, or Gemini CLI. Then you can download Vibeyard from the GitHub releases for macOS, Linux, or Windows. There is also an NPM path and a build from source path. The repo is open source, but model access or subscription plans can still cost money. That distinction matters because open source does not mean the agent you connect to is free. My verdict is simple. If you already use coding agents on local apps, Vibeyard is worth testing because it turns visual context into agent context. The real question is whether it stays reliable on messy production components, not just a clean coffee shop demo. If you want the practical version, the follow-up should be a clean install tutorial from first launch to first browser-based edit.